This one.
Yeah, that's nice, huh? Let's see. Okay.
Good morning, Bhante. Good morning, Brian.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning, Bhante. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. Alright, and you. Okay. Let's see. So that's done. You want to get started, Bhante?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let us begin with the metta meditation. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hate or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dealing here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desires for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. With this metta thought, let us continue our meditation. dukkha pattaca nidukkha, bhaya pattaca nibbhaya, soka pattaca nisoka, hontu sabbe pipanino. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. With this metta thought, let us try to focus our mind on the points that I want to raise in this talk. We were talking about Bojjhanga, the factors of enlightenment, and focusing on the investigation of Dhamma. We began to list the things that Buddha asked us not to do in order to investigate the Dhamma. And we mentioned Kalama Sutta. This is the way of using our investigation. This is what is called free inquiry. When we do investigation, it has to be done freely, without any obligation, without going by various things that we mentioned yesterday, day before yesterday. I want to continue. Buddha said, don't believe anything because of spacious reasoning. The wide variety of things, reasoning you bring out to justify what you have heard or what you are forced to accept. So you may use many kinds of reasoning. And reasoning you can use in your favor. You don't use any reasoning to go against your belief, your acceptance. And Buddha said, even if you have many reasons, those reasons may not be valid reasons, because you are using your prejudice. And therefore Buddha said, don't accept those things with many variety of reasons. And do not also accept something upon bias towards a notion that has been pondered over. When this looks like when you are going to biases, there are 4 types of biases: Chanda, Dosa, Bhaya, Moha. Chanda means your will. Because of your will you accept something. Dosa means because of your anger you reason something to justify that. Then fear, bhaya, out of fear of losing your popularity, fear of criticism, fear of losing your friendship or something, that kind of fear. Then moha is confusion. Because of these are the biases. Chanda, dosa, bhaya, moha. Moha means confusion. Based on this do not believe something. That is, you are forced to believe something because of this fear. You have certain, somebody is very powerful, and that person can come up with all kind of threat. And if you believe something under threat, Buddha said that is not a free investigation or free using your freedom of thinking. We all have our own freedom to think, freedom to speak, freedom to do, and we should not sacrifice our freedom to do unbiased, impartial, right investigation. And then Buddha said, don't believe anything thinking that the teacher is my teacher, my guru. The speaker is my teacher. Therefore, whatever he says, I must accept out of respect for him. If I do not accept it, I may be disrespectful towards him. And therefore, without seeing the truth, just because you have some kind of respect for the teacher, and you, based on that respect, whatever you say, he says, you will swallow. That is called gullible. Pali word is gullible. Pali word is very good, meaningful word. Pali word is gulli baliso. Gulli means swallow. Baliso means bait. You swallow the bait without thinking. That type of acceptance or person is called gullibiliso in Pali. That is, person is gullible in English. So Buddha asks not to be just gullibles, swallowing everything when somebody tries to push something through our throat. We should not swallow it. That is very important message that Buddha said. Then finally Buddha said, Kalamas, when you yourself know these are good, these things are not blamable, these things are praised by the wise, undertake and observe these things, lead to benefit and happiness, then enter on and abide in them. So for this, Buddha gave very wonderful teaching in Mahaparinibbana Sutta. They are called Mahapadana. Mahapadana means the great way of accepting things. That is, if somebody tells you that he has learned the Dhamma from the Buddha himself, right in front of him, I sat down and listened to him, and what I say therefore is the truth. Whatever you hear from anybody else is not true. Buddha said, don't accept it, don't reject it, but check with the source. That is number one. Number two, if somebody tells you that he learned the Dhamma from a very great learned group of monks who are enlightened, learned, very wise, and I learned the Dhamma from them. Therefore, what I say is true. Whatever anybody else says is not true. Buddha said again, don't accept it, don't reject it, but check with the source. Third person might say, I learn this Dhamma from only bhikkhus, not bhikkhunis. And these bhikkhus are very enlightened, very noble, everybody respects them. And I learned Dhamma from them, and therefore that what I know is true, and whatever else others tell you is not true. Again Buddha said, don't accept it, don't reject it, but check with the source. The fourth is, there is a very erudite, learned, great scholarly monk in our monastery. He is very famous. Many people come from various places, various countries to see him, to learn Dhamma from him. And therefore he is a very noble person. And what I learned from him is the perfect truth. Buddha said, don't accept it, don't reject it, but check with the source. To check with the source, what is the source? We must understand the source. And the source is the Four Noble Truths. If you hear something or read something, if that is not directly or indirectly related to the Four Noble Truths, then it is not the Buddha's teaching. If it is not related, it may sound very, very philosophical, psychological, scientific, logical, reasonable, acceptable, all this you will see. And yet, if that does not match with the Four Noble Truths, then that is not the Buddha's teaching. Some people say, yes, there are certain things that the Buddha taught which are not directly or indirectly related to so noble truth. I don't see anything that Buddha taught which is not related to the Four Noble Truths, directly or indirectly. Because he said one day he said, bhikkhus, I said suffering and only end of suffering. I teach you suffering and only end of suffering. And these are two of the Four Noble Truths. Suffering as suffering, and end of suffering is Nibbana. So then the way and the origin and all these things come under these two truths. Therefore, to investigate, there are certain steps to follow. What are the steps? Bending your ears, that means with total attention, undivided attention, you listen to Dhamma. That is called ohita soto dhammang sunati. Ohita soto means bending your ears, meaning undivided attention you must pay to the Dhamma. This Dhamma may be taught by the Buddha, one of his disciples, monk or nun, or lay person. Like Khujuttara was a lay person. Chitragapati is a lay person. They also taught Dhamma. They taught Dhamma and they discussed Dhamma with very learned monks, and they all match with the Buddha's teaching because they learned the Dhamma. So, in order to make the free inquiry, you listen to Dhamma with at full attention. Then, Sutta Dhammang Dharayati. Having listened to Dhamma, you remember it. You know, when you want to investigate, there must be some source, something to investigate. That is the Dhamma that you have memorized. We learn the Dhamma from books, sutras, and we inquire in our own minds. We have to think, ask questions. Is this, as I gave you a whole list of this, good Dhamma, bad Dhamma, dark Dhamma, white Dhamma, beneficial Dhamma, unbeneficial Dhamma, Dhamma that leads to liberation, Dhamma that leads to samsaric existence, and so forth. So in order to make the distinction and have clear understanding, you have to inquire or question the Dhamma you have memorized. Because you need something to investigate. That is the Dhamma. Then, when you memorize and investigate, then you have to find out the meaning of each word you learn. That is called attang upaparikkati. You have to understand the meaning. If the word you misunderstood, then you will have a lot of problem, confusion. So the word we learn should not be memorized, but we must inquire, ask questions to get the meaning of that particular word. They are called in Pali deepening insight or analytical understanding. That is called Atta, Dhamma, Nirutti, Patibhana. Atta means the meaning of each word. Dhamma means the truth or message that word conveys to us. Nirutti means its root or grammar, and then Patibhana means realization of them. All this we can do when we memorize and use and analyze the words. This is how we do investigation. Always keep questioning. Then, when we investigate, when we see the Dhamma in this way, our body and the mind becomes very calm, relaxed, and peaceful. I tell you one example. You hear the Pali word ehi pasiko, come and see. Come and see. When you hear the word come and see, you ask 3 questions. What are the 3 questions? Come and see is an invitation. When you hear the get this invitation, you ask 3 questions. What are the 3? First question is where to go, because the invitation says come and see. Then you must ask where to go. Second question is and see. What to see? The third question is who sent the invitation? These are 3 questions. Come and see. When you ask the question come, you get the answer nowhere. You don't go anywhere, because come means inviting. When you ask the question where to go, answer is nowhere. Then come and see. See means what to see. There must be an object to see. Answer is see nothing. Then who sent the invitation? Answer is nobody. So this answer to these 3 questions, answers doesn't make any sense. Invitation doesn't make any sense. But when we understand the Dhamma, this invitation makes the whole sense. Who invites us? Dhamma invites us. And invite to go where to go? Go inside ourselves. And what is to see? See the Dhamma. Where can we see the Dhamma? In books, in libraries, in supermarkets, in the kitchen, in dining table? No. Of course, even there you can find Dhamma if you understand Dhamma. And that Dhamma, wherever you go, goes with you. And that Dhamma is in you, in your own mind, in your own body, in your own perception, in your own thought, in your own volition, in your own consciousness. In all these things you see the Dhamma. And you can see this Dhamma every fraction of your time, every fraction of every nanosecond, you can see this Dhamma. If you really mindfully investigate, every moment you can see this Dhamma. And that is why the Buddha said, Pacchattam veditabbo vinyuhi. Only wise individuals can understand this Dhamma by themselves. We have to be wise. So, investigation is a very profound way of seeing the truth in us. What we investigate Dhamma to have the truth, and that truth is not written somewhere. Truth cannot be given to us by somebody. Truth is in us, and we can see the truth that within us, and that truth we can see in others as well. That is what Satipatthana Sutta says, that iti ajjaktang va kayaka anupasivirati bahiddhava kayaka anupasivirati. Ajjata bahiddhava. That means you see the Dhamma truth within yourself, and you see the same truth in others, and we see the truth in both you and others exactly the same way. So, then when we see this truth, it is something wonderful happens to us. There is no dispute, no quarrel, no argument, no resentment, but the mind and body becomes calm, because we see the truth everywhere, everything we can see the truth. then the mind becomes calm and peaceful. Then when the mind is calm, it triggers joy, piety. Joy arises. Actually, when we see the truth, since we are not biased, since we are not prejudiced, we are open, honest and sincere. Then when we see the truth, it brings us delight. We are very, very delighted to see the truth in us as well as in others. For instance, when these, what you call eyes, see visual objects, at that very instant consciousness arises. Combining these three, contact arises. As soon as contact arises, feeling arises. And these 5 factors happen to me as well as to you and to others. And this combination can never change. And I arise when we see the object. Otherwise we are not conscious of the I. So this phenomenon, this truth, this Dhamma, this is called Dhamma. And this Dhamma is universal. It doesn't differ from person to person, country to country, place to place, time to time. It is true then in millions of years ago. It is true now. It will be true in future. And therefore, when we see this reality, this truth exactly as it is, not only the body and mind becomes calm, because there is no reason to dispute. Becomes calm. When the body and mind becomes calm, that brings delight, piety. Then, when the mind and body are delighted, full of joy, that leads to happiness. Joy leads to happiness. Friends, piety is very powerful, calming, soothing mental state, not excitement. Joy in ordinary sense, ordinary conversation, is something exciting us. You know, for instance, people say, I am full of joy. They react in a certain way. And this joy is so calm, relaxed, peaceful, that leads to happiness. And when happiness arises, mind becomes even calmer and more peaceful. Ordinarily, when people are happy, they smile, they laugh. Some people even cry. They jump up and down. They kiss, they hug, and they do all sort of physical and verbal expressions when ordinarily people are happy. But when one is happy in this way, that happy state of mind leads to samadhi, concentration. See, you start with investigation. Investigation slowly, gradually, where it leads, you can see where it leads. It leads to gaining concentration. That is called samadhi. You can, when we come to the detailed explanation of mindfulness factor of enlightenment, I will talk more about it. Now for this investigation. When investigation leads to concentration, and Buddha said, I repeated this many times, please remember this series of things that leads one after the other. Then samahi, that meaning concentration. Concentration is not some kind of static state of mind making it fixed and like a rock. In the concentrated state of mind, you can see the real concentration with mindfulness. You will see everything is changing. Your the bodily parts changing, your feelings changing, your perception changing, your thought whatever thought arising in the mind changing, and whatever moment of consciousness arises, that also, all of them changing at the same time. And being aware of their changes, even mindfulness is changing. Everything is in a changing in unison, changing together. Everything is changing together. And that shows you impermanence. Everything is changing together. And that seeing, that is called seeing things as they really are. As they really are means these aggregates I mentioned, our form, feeling, perception, thought and consciousness, whatever, all these are changing together in a subtlest way, and that is what we can see, and that is called seeing things as they really are. Therefore, when we see things as they really are, there is no room for greed, no room for hatred, no room for delusion, jealousy, fear, tension, anxiety, worry and so forth. No room in the mind for any of them. Mind is totally free from all of them. The person, with people or without, in community or not, day or night, whenever the person looks inside, as the Dharma invites us, come and see this truth inside. Come and see this truth inside. And this is the truth we see inside. And therefore, friends, this is a wonderful way of practicing, learning Dhamma, and I hope all of us try to achieve that state. And with this, I think I can stop this morning's session. And from this, if you have questions, please write the questions. I will answer tomorrow. Friends, we start this whole thing with intention of sharing our metta, our loving, sincere, loving friendliness. In the practice of loving friendliness, there is no enemy, no hostile person. We all are one in the practice of Dhamma, metta, and therefore let us wish, especially those who are suffering from this COVID-19. We hear every day it is getting almost out of hand, out of control, spreading like wildfire everywhere. And we want to wish all these patients who are infected by this virus be recover very quickly and return to normal life and live in good health to understand Dhamma and liberate from samsaric suffering and attain eternal peace. And also there are many people who have lost already some of their very loved ones, and they, I'm sure, are grieving. May they be free from grief, understanding the Dhamma, practice Dhamma, and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. There are many wonderful doctors, nurses, and hospital staffs. I think among you there are some nurses who know how you dedicate your life to help people. May all of them who so kindly, compassionately sacrifice their own comfort to and risk their own lives to help these people, may they all continue their wonderful service without themselves being affected by this COVID-19 and live long in very good health to render their wonderful service. And there are many people who support the projects that people are trying to discover this what do you call it, the vaccine, and some of them have discovered, and may they be able to spread it and make it available to people as quickly as possible so that they can reduce and prevent and cure people using this injection, this vaccine. And those who are supporting them, let them continue their support. And there are many good leaders who are doing wonderful jobs, trying their best to help these people. May they continue their wonderful service and without themselves getting affected by this COVID-19. And other leaders who have not yet made up their mind, and perhaps they don't know, may they have wisdom, understanding, compassion for all living beings to have to make a right decision, wise decision to help the world. With this wish, I want to end this session, and I want to thank you all for participating in this and